is good, Mexit planners, and welcome to another edition of the Yucatan News Weekly update. I'm trying something new today, y'all. I'm going to try to give you more Yucatan News Weekly updates sooner versus waiting for an entire month of news stories and making a longer video. So let me know what you think about this format at the end. Leave me notes in the comments below. I greatly appreciate it. I'm shooting this obviously not in my studio, but in my garden, so let's see how it goes. So jumping right into it, there was a recent story that 45% of Mexicans with formal jobs don't make enough to raise their families out of poverty. There are almost 10 million people in the low income range that are formally employed. Formal employment means you work for a company or an organization, a manufacturer, or what have you, and not just as an entrepreneur. In Mexico, there are millions of workers that are not formally employed or are self-employed. The hustle in Mexico is definitely on 1,000 when compared to other places. It is not uncommon to see an entire landscaping or pool business run from tricycles or even motorcycles. But for those that work at large factories or other companies, the wages that they receive are less than what is needed to pay the basic carts for groceries per month. The experts say that the minimum salary that you need in order to pay for a basic cart of groceries is over 8,600 pesos per month. At an 18.7 pesos to $1 exchange rate, that is over $458 per month. Keep in mind that the work week here in Mexico is 44 hours per week for most blue-collar workers. The labor laws only require that you get 1 day off each week, which is generally on Sunday. So most blue-collar workers might work from Monday through Saturday. That's a normal work week. So if you break those 8,600 pesos down, that comes out to 48.86 pesos per hour, or about $2.60 at an 18.75 exchange rate. Now, this is the minimum needed, but is not what is paid today. The federal minimum wage was just increased as of January 1st to 207.44 pesos, or roughly $11 per day, assuming an 18.75 to 1 exchange rate. Many employees with formal jobs are receiving just barely over that amount, and this is the new federal minimum wage as of January 1st, 2023. In order for formal employees to reach the minimum that experts say that they need, the federal minimum wage would need to be raised to 328.82 pesos per day. As it stands, many blue-collar workers today would make around 6,223 pesos per month, or just $331.90. So there's a huge difference between what is needed and what they currently make at $331.90 per month. Today, the average Mexican household has 3.6 people, with 1.6 of those folks receiving a formal income. The real benchmark for a decent income would be more than 10,000 pesos per month, or enough to support 2 people in a household. In another job-related story, Mexico is permitted to post job ads that would be absolutely illegal in the United States. The ad that we're looking at is for a woman domestic worker who doesn't have family commitments, children, and that can work from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays from 8 to 2. Assuming that this position offers 1 hour for a lunch break, that would be over 50 hours per week. Also, you have to be 25 to 35 years old and know how to read and write. You can't have kids, but you have to have experience with kids in order to apply for this job. Now, this job, I'm sure, is a blue-collar worker and isn't paying much over that federal minimum wage. So you can kind of see the work conditions here. You know, you can learn a lot about a culture in the stories that you read every week, but you can also learn a lot about how the daily life happens looking through job postings and ads. Switching gears to state news, the state of Yucatan has created a digital photo lab where producers of goods made in the Yucatan can photo or record videos of their products in a high-tech studio available to the public. The government invested 3.6 million pesos in this project, which is around 192,000 US dollars. The space is designed to make it easier for vendors to sell their products online and is equipped with studio lights, mannequins, and much more. Yucatan is the only state in the country with a studio like this capable of servicing many different sectors of the economy. In other news, in Progreso, the city of Progreso is currently experiencing a shortage of eggs in the supermarkets and has decided to limit the purchase of eggs to just 10 cartons per customer. The price of eggs range from 45 pesos for a dozen up to 105 pesos for 30. If you convert that at an 18.75 exchange rate, that's around $2.40 to $5.60 for 30. The primary purchasers of eggs are the Casina Economicas and the lunch restaurants. The shortage is being blamed on a bird flu that has hit 14 farms so far in the Yucatan. One vendor reported that he usually receives about 100 cartons of eggs per week, but due to the shortage, he's only receiving 40 cartons this week. The shortage is expected to last for at least another 2 months in the coastal areas. Currently, there's no shortage of eggs in Merida. I bought a dozen of eggs last week and it was only 42 pesos. In other Progreso news, last week a woman was robbed around 12 in the afternoon in Progreso by a young man with a gun. The police immediately began an investigation. Using the surveillance cameras that are throughout the city, they got the description of the man wearing a red shirt, black shorts, and red shoes. I don't know where he thought he was going with red shoes. They captured the man near the main park where he had fled after the robbery with the gun, and the suspect that they detained was 31 years of old. Again, the security cameras and the surveillance and the police are on point here in Merida. So Merida is very safe, as well as Progreso, because they have over 6,700 cameras throughout the state. Until next time, MexitPlans Monty, I'm out.